right, so the first thing you want to do is find the area of the base. So that would be here. And again, this is a rectangle. So to find the area of the base, you would just take 2 times 4. So go ahead with your calculator if you need to. Multiply 2 times 4 to get the area of the base. Remember, capital B is area of the base. That's what that stands for. So it is 2 times 4, 8. And now to find the volume, you take that number times the height. So volume is going to equal 8 times what? Which one of these numbers is the height? The 16, right. This is the height because this is connected to the 90 degree. You can actually cross this out. Go ahead, cross out that 20 because you're not using that 20. That 20 is only there to confuse you. So don't let it confuse you. So take 8 times 16 with your calculator and tell me what you get. What'd you say? 128. Anyone else get that? 128? Okay, good. And it would be centimeters cubed. Okay, so we're actually going to learn 3 different volume formulas today. We're going to finish it out. And then tomorrow we're going to work on composites. So the first shape in your notes, go ahead and go to page 17 and copy down this formula. This is a cylinder. So if you have a circular base, and again, volume would be how much it takes to fill the inside. So now we're in our pink packet. We're on page 17 because now we're in our notes. And we're going to do 3 shapes. The first one is a cylinder. So take a minute and copy down this formula for volume of a cylinder. So this is how much can fit in the inside. Again, that's the definition. Fill the inside. That's what volume is. So area would be how much does it take to cover the outside. Volume is how much does it take to fill the inside. So if I had a canister, if I had a can of soup, it would be how much soup can fit in the can. That's volume. So to find the volume, it would be pi times r squared times the height. So let's go ahead and finish out this page and find our volumes. So we have a tube. It says Andrew wants to mail his brother a collection of marbles. He needs to calculate the volume of the mail tube before he buys it to ensure that it will hold all of the marbles. Because remember, it's what can fit inside. Find the volume. So first thing first, this number, do you think that is your radius or your diameter? That's the diameter because it goes from edge to edge. So this number, as it is written, is your diameter. And that's not what you use to find the volume. So your very first step before you do anything is to figure out the radius. Radius equals 1.25 divided by 2. Thank you. Anyone else get that number? Go ahead and verify it. And then after you do that, you're ready to find the volume. So volume equals pi times the radius squared. So that 0.625 goes inside here. And then you're going to multiply that by how long the tube is, which is 10. So take a minute. Everybody type that in your calculator. Okay, Jaden, what you get? 12.27. Anybody else get that number? All right, good. And that would be your volume. That is your answer. Volume is always unit cubed. All right, let's look at this one here. Is this 8? Is that the radius or the diameter? Radius. Good. So we don't need to divide it by 2. So volume is pi times the radius, which is 8 squared, times the height. Type that in your calculators. All right, who agrees with my answer? Who got that? I got 3,015.93. Is there somebody at the door? Okay. Sorry, I don't know why I keep hearing knocking. Do y'all hear knocking? Okay, I was like, am I going crazy? Okay. 3,015.93 centimeters cubed. All right, try to do this last one by yourself. But before you get started, though, raise your hand if you think this is the radius. Who says it's the diameter? I agree. So to find the radius, you have to divide this by 2. So radius is 14 divided by 2. So take a minute and try to finish this question on your own. See what we get for our answers.
7.
No, you got to do, now you have to do the volume. So now you want to do this whole formula. So the radius is 7. So now try to find the volume.
Which one am I supposed to write now?
That's your answer.
No, with the decimal.
Yep. The answer is a decimal. All right, who has something close to this? If you put 2001.2, that's also fine. All right, so that's our first formula, is a cylinder. The next formula, go to the next page, is volume of a cone. So formula for volume of a cone, take a minute. It's the same thing as a cylinder, except we have to divide it by 3. So let me zoom in for you guys. Take a minute and copy down this formula. So now we're moving on to the next page. So how much ice cream can fit inside the cone? How much was the volume of a cone? So it's pi r squared h divided by 3. Anybody need more time to copy down the formula? All right, let's get started then. Let's go ahead and look at this next question then. So we have our cone. So volume is going to equal, so is this our radius or the diameter? That's our radius. So volume equals, and then it's pi times radius squared times the height, which is 8, all divided by 3. Take a minute, type that in your calculators. All right, any questions about how we did that? Who had that answer? All right, go ahead and do the next two. Raise your hand when you have an answer for the next two. But before we do that though, which one of these numbers am I using for the height? The 4, good. So cross out the 5, that's only there to confuse you. All right, when you have your answer for both of these, raise your hand and I will check it. So it's like a cone is the same as a cylinder, except we have to divide it by 3. All right, so let's look at this. That was really good. Couple things to keep in mind. I don't want to take for granted that this is, let me just go back a little bit. When you're looking at this one, this is your radius. This is the radius. So the radius is 3, and your height, that's here. Can't really see that. That's here. Your height is 4. So when you're typing it in your calculator, it should be volume equals pi times radius squared times height divided by 3. Some people had it backwards. They had the 4 squared times 3. It has to be the radius squared times the height. So these would be your two answers. Who agrees with those two? Okay, and our last shape is that we'll talk about today is a sphere, which is just a ball. How do you find the volume of a ball? So how much air can fit inside of a basketball? So your formula for a sphere, this is your formula. Go ahead and copy it down. So the only thing we need to know is the radius. And it's r cubed. So I will show you how to put in, I don't think you've ever put a cube in the calculator. So if you don't know, it's like the button is right below. I can come around and show you all. It's probably easier for me to do it that way. Okay. Anybody need time to copy this down? You got it, Cortez? All right. All right, so we have a candy, and they want to create individually wrapped solid chocolate spheres. If the diameter is 1.5 inches, find the volume. So they told us the diameter, so to find the radius, take the diameter and divide that by 2. That's your first step. Can you read? Can you write like that? Sit on up. So, King, what you get for the radius? 0.75. Okay, so to type this in your calculator, you're going to have your 4 pi and then make parentheses. Inside of the parentheses, you're going to put 0.75. Raise that to the power of 3. Wait, that's kind of messy. Let me make that better. 0.75 to the power of 3. And that's all divided by 3. So I will come around and help you. I'm going to tell you what you should get. So if you get this answer, you did it right. You should get 1.77 inches cubed. So let me verify that I did that right. Hold on. Okay, yeah, 1.77. All right, so the cube button is under the square button. It looks like an up, or it might be above it. Let me see, is it above it or below it? It's above it. It looks like an upside down V. Okay, so it's the fraction button. Yeah. And then type 4 pi. And then 0.75. And then then you wanna hit this button for the power of 3, and then go down to your denominator, hit 3. And then you gotta put the power of 3, so you gotta hit this button. And now you put the 3 in. And now you're done. Hit enter. Oh, you gotta put the 3 in the denominator too. Did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? You know how to put it in the calculator? You know how to put it in the calculator? Did you put it in the calculator? Anybody over here need help? Okay. All right, so let's finish this out, last two. So as long as you have the radius, you just type it in. So is that 8 the radius or the diameter? Does it go to the middle or does it go to the edge? To the middle. So this is your radius. So volume equals 4 pi. And then you have 8 to the power of 3 over 3. Type it in. So I got 2,144.7 meters cubed. Anyone else get that? Raise your hand if you had that number.
I got 0.66.
Yeah, I just rounded it to 0.7. Same thing. For the last one, do you see how it goes from edge to edge? Well, that's your diameter. So this is your diameter. So the radius would be 12 divided by 2, which is 6. So volume is going to equal 4 pi times 6 cubed over 3. Go ahead, type that in. And if you type that in, who wants to tell me what they got? 904.78. Anybody else get that? Or something close to that? Okay. All right, so we'll end there. Go ahead, use this time to finish out homework 1. If you are absent, or no, we're on homework 3. Sorry, homework 3. Homework 3.